greeting to our esteemed principal, Dr. Hamdani Rizwana ma'am, and our respected vice principal, Dr. Arifanju. Their continuous support and guidance make academic events like this possible. I also extend a warm welcome to our distinguished keynote speakers, faculty members, researchers, and all participants who have joined us today. This webinar aims to highlight the critical aspect of environmental toxicology and its effect on human health, which is a subject of great relevance in today's world. To officially commence this event, I would now request our esteemed academic supervisor, Professor Imran, to deliver the welcome note. Please, sir.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Mahatma Gandhi Vindya Bandir's Arts, Commerce, and Science College, Malegaon City, I, Professor Imran Ahmed, academic supervisor and ARC coordinator, I welcome you all in the esteemed guests, honorable speakers, and participants, especially today's keynote speaker, Dr. J.D. Sheikh, professor and head Department of Zoology, Maulana Azad College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Aurangabad. I also welcome to Professor Risham Balla, Loknete Venkatraw Hire, Arts, Science and Commerce College, Panchwati, Nasik. And I also welcome Dr. Sontakke Tejaswini Akrur, Assistant Professor, Department of Zoology, Mahila Ratna Pushpatai Hire, Arts, Science and Commerce, Mahila Mahavidyalaya. We are honored to have distinguished speakers who will share their expertise and experiences on these issues. This webinar promises to be an enriching experiences with thought-provoking discussion and valuable takeaways. It is my pleasure to extend a warm welcome to you all on the occasion of National Webinar on Environmental Toxicology Impact of Pollutants on Human Health, organized by the Zoology and Botany departments. I would like to express my gratitude to the organizer, speakers, and participants for making this event possible. I also appreciate efforts of the organizer, Zoology and Botany department, in taking the initiative to organize this webinar. Once again, I congratulate to all the participants and the organizer and let the webinar begin. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Imran, for your kind words and warm welcome. To give us a deep understanding of the purpose and goals of this webinar, I invite Professor Parvez Akhtar to share the aims and objectives with us.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning to all. I am Professor Parvez Akhtar from Department of Zoology. The primary aim of this webinar is to raise awareness and the understanding of the significant relationship between environmental pollutants and their effects on human health. Through expert presentation and discussion, we aim to educate participants about environmental toxicology, focusing on various pollutants such as chemical, heavy metals, and air pollutions that affect human well-being. The webinar will explore the short and long-term health impact of the pollutants. A key objective is to promote preventive measures, providing strategies for individuals and communities to reduce exposure to harmful pollutants. Moreover, we will encourage participants to take an active role in shaping public health efforts. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Parvez, for outlining the objectives so clearly. Now, we move on to the most awaited part of today's event, introducing our esteemed keynote speakers. I would like to invite Professor Rofi Soul to introduce our first keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Risham Balla. Please, sir.
Myself, Assistant Professor Rofi Saud Ahmed, Head of the Department of Botany, MGV's Arts, Commerce and Science College, Malegaon City. It is my distinct honor to privilege to introduce an illustrious figure in zoology Professor Dr. Resham Bhalla, with an exceptional career spanning more than 3 decades, Dr. Bhalla stands as a paragon of academic excellence, research innovations, and unwavering dedication to community services. Currently serving as the professor and head of the Department of Zoology and Research Center at Loknath Venkat Rao Hire Art Science and Commerce College, Nashik. Dr. Bhalla's educational journey includes BSc, MSc, MPhil, BEd, and PhD. Her 34 years of teaching experience and 20 years of research expertise have significantly advanced the frontiers of zoology and environmental science. Dr. Bhalla's research contributes are monumental, including a major UGC funded project on the ascorbate effect on pesticides, induced alteration in freshwater bivalves. Her scholarly output includes over 45 research papers published in high impact journals, 8 international level reference books, and multiple patents recognized by both Indian and Australian governments. Throughout her career, Dr. Bhalla has received numerous accolades, including the ASEA Fellow with Gold Medal, Scientist of the Year, and the Best Teacher Award from the Savitribai Phule Pune University. Her commitment extends beyond the academia as she actively participates in various university roles and community services, including 8 blood donations. We are incredibly fortunate to have Dr. Bhalla with us today to share her profound knowledge and insights. Please welcoming Professor Dr. Resham Bhalla, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Rocky Sour, for introducing our distinguished speaker. It's now my privilege to invite our honorable keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Resham Bhalla, to address us. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, Jasmine ma'am. Thank you, Rafi Ahmed sir, for giving the brief introduction. Uh, First of all, sir, please allow me to share the PPT. Good morning, one and all. First of all, I take the opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to the organizers for giving me this opportunity to deliver my lecture on the uh, in the national webinar organized by Mahatma Gandhi Vidya Mandir's Arts, Commerce and Science College, Malegaon City. The the topic of the webinar is environmental toxicology, impact of pollutants on health, and the topic of my talk is the types of pollutants, sources, causes, and their effects. Myself is Professor Resham Bhalla. I welcome all the participants who are presented in large number, and now I'm going to start my lecture. Now the pollution, as everyone knows, what is pollution? Pollution is the presence of the harmful substances in the environment which cause a adverse effect on the ecosystem, human health, and on the climate. Now these harmful substances, they can be present in the form of the gases, liquids, or the solids, and that is which also disrupt our natural environment, and they degrade the quality of the various parameters present in the atmosphere like air, soil, water, and other natural resources. Now this pollution, it is the result of various human activities like industrial processes, transportation, agriculture, waste disposal, and they may also be due to many other factors. Now the various types of the pollutants are, sir, please go ahead. The common types of the pollution is which we are facing in our day-to-day activities is like air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, noise pollution, light pollution, plastic pollution, thermal pollution, radioactive pollution, and the urban indoor pollution. Now first I will discuss with the air pollution. Now air pollution, it is the presence of the harmful substances present in the atmosphere. Sir, please go ahead. Which is caused by the human activities, which have many effects on the environment, public health, climate, and it occurs when the pollutants are like chemicals, particles, biological materials which are released into the air in the quantities which exceed the normal level. Now these pollutants, they come from the various sources like natural and the man-made, and which causes the environmental and the health problems. The common type of the pollutants are the particulate matter. Now these particulate matters, they are suspended in the air, which include the dust, dirt, soot, smoke and the liquid droplets. The ground level ozone, it is formed when the pollutants, they are emitted from the vehicles, industrial plants and other sources which react with the, sir please go to the previous slide only, which react with the sunlight. Level ozone, it is the key component of the smoke, and it causes number of the respiratory problems and aggravate the conditions like asthma. And another pollutant present in the air, it is the nitrogen oxides. They come from these nitrogen oxides, they come from the fossil fuels, especially the vehicles, industrial processes, and these nitrogen oxides and the sulfur dioxide, that is, they contribute to the formation of the acid rain, which impact our plants, aquatic ecosystem, building, and they also irritate the respiratory system of the organisms. The carbon monoxide, it is a colorless, odorless gas which is produced by the incomplete combustion, and it also comes from the vehicles, household heating, industrial processes, and the carbon excess amount of the carbon dioxide is very dangerous, and it leads to the poisoning, and sometimes if it is released in the larger quantities, it can lead to the death also. The volatile organic compounds, that is these are compounds or the gases which are released from the certain solids or liquids, like as we are using the paints, cleaning supplies, vehicle exhaust, and these volatile organic compounds, they lead to the formation of the ozone, and it has a very harmful effect on the health. Then the ammonia, it also releases the agricultural processes like livestock from the fertilizers, and they can lead to the formation of the particulate matter. The various environmental issues, they arise because of the release of the the sources of the air pollution are like transportation, industry, agriculture, residential heating, and waste management and the natural resources. Now the transportation, as we are largely dependent upon the vehicles, and many of the fossil fuels, they are emitted in large quantity from the these transportation systems. The pollutants released are nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, and the sulfur dioxide and the particulate matter. The industrial processes are also the significant sources of the air pollutants. The agriculture, like the livestock farming, it produces the methane in large quantities, and the use of the fertilizers, pesticides, they release the ammonia and the other chemicals into the, and in the houses we are using the wood, coal, other fuels for burning purposes, which also release the harmful emissions. The waste mismanagement is because of the landfills, waste incineration, open burning of the waste release like particulate matter. Natural resources are sources are like volcanic eruptions, wildfires, dust storms, and the many of the man-made activities which lead to the which causes number of the impacts on the human life. Now these are the few photographs which I have taken from the different sources, which show that is how largely we are affected with the air pollution. Next, please. The health effects of the air pollution are like the respiratory issues. That is, when there are the short-term effects and the long-term exposure to the polluted air, that is, it causes the worsened respiratory conditions like asthma, bronchitis, emphysema, and other chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases are caused by the air pollution. Air pollution, it is also linked to the number of the cardiovascular problems like increases the heart rate, strokes, and the inflammation, and it also oxidative stress. Now this cancer, certain pollutants like the benzene, formaldehydes, that is, which are very carcinogenic and which are being used and in our daily life, and they also increases the risk of the lung and the other cancers. And the cognitive impairment is, that is the when we are doing the research in the number of the laboratories and the research institutes, research centers, that is the long term exposed to the air pollutants, that is it leads to the cognitive decline and the conditions like, that is the dementia, that is in the dementia there is the loss of control over the body, loss of memory is there, and that is it can lead to the impairment. And ultimately, that is the if the pregnant women, they are exposed to the this air pollution and in their pregnancy conditions, that is the life expectancy is also shortened, and the premature death also takes because of the respiratory and the cardiovascular diseases. The environmental effects of the air pollution are like the global warming. The pollutants like carbon dioxide, methane, chlorofluorocarbons, greenhouse gases, that is, they lead to the global warming and the climate change, because the large amount of the heat it is trapped in the Earth's atmosphere. Then the sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and these gases which are released into the air, they come along with the rain. And when these particles of these gases, they are suspended in the air and they combine with the rain and they fall on the earth, which leads to the acid rain. And this acid rain, it harms our ecosystem, soil, and the vegetation. And the ozone depletion, it is because of the large number of the chlorofluorocarbons which can contribute to the depletion of the ozone layer. Now this ozone layer is very protective, and it prevents the passage of the UV radiations or the harmful radiations onto the earth's surface. And that is because of these acid rain and the global warming, climate change, the amount of the ozone present in the our upper atmosphere, it is getting depleted, and it is causing the damage to our age old natural ecosystems, and that is which also reduce the biodiversity. Next. Now the solutions to combat the or to control the air pollution is, that is we can go for the combined or the coordinated efforts by the individuals, government, and the international organizations. Now that is there are certain strategies which can be included to control the air pollution is, that is we have to raise the awareness among the common people, and or we can switch over to the clean energy using the renewable sources like solar, wind, hydropower, and we can reduce our dependency on the fossil fuels. And we should promote the sustainable transportation, that is we should encourage the use of the electrical vehicles, public transportation, and or we can, if we are to travel to the nearby places, and we can opt the option of walking, and we can reduce the vehicular emission. and that there should be the implementation of the strict regulations by the government, and that is therefore, and we can set the certain air quality regulations, and in which it can be helpful to protect the health of the general public, the common people. And we can also, the government should also take efforts to invest in the green infrastructures, like providing the green spaces, planting more trees, and improving the urban design, which can help to absorb the air pollutants, and the quality of the air it can be improved. Next. Now, next I come to the water pollution. Now, the water pollution, next slide. Water pollution, it refers to the contamination of the water bodies like rivers, lakes, oceans, groundwater by environmental harmful substances. Now, that is, there are the different pollutants which are coming from the industrial waste, agricultural runoff, sewage, plastic waste, which can cause serious environmental and the health impacts, and can affect our natural ecosystem, wildlife, and the human health. The pollutants include like heavy metals, chemicals, nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, pathogens, and the plastics. And the we know that is the untreated sewage is also being introduced into our water bodies, which also introduce the bacteria, viruses, and it also our agricultural runoff is carrying the pesticides, fertilizers, and which lead to the more growth of the algae or the algal blooms. They are proliferated, and the oxygen level of the water is reduced. Next. The key sources of the water pollution are like the industrial discharges. The industrial discharges, they are coming from the factories, and the like factories like textile mills, chemical plants, paper mills. That is which are contaminating our water bodies by introducing the dyes, chemicals, and the other hazardous materials. The agricultural runoff, it carries the pesticides, fertilizers, herbicides, and it is being washed into the rivers, streams through irrigation, and it can this because these agricultural runoff, it is carrying the larger amount of the nitrogen and the phosphorus, and which are the nutrients, and they lead to the eutrophication, which leads to the depletion of the oxygen. And the sewage and the wastewater, it is the we are directly industries and the number of the wastewater, like the sewage and the wastewater, it is coming from the household industries, sewage treatment plants, and it helps in the introduction of the various uh, uh, harmful pathogens like bacteria, viruses, organic waste, and the chemicals. They are directly discharged into the water systems, which are spoiling our water resources. Oil spills from the various ships, pipelines, and they are releasing the large amount of the oil into the oceans. And the oil pollution, it leads to a formation of the thick surface layer on the water bodies, which suffocates our aquatic life, and damages the our ecosystem. Plastic pollution, it is also a very upcoming and a growing problem, especially in the oceans. Like plastics, like bags, microplastics, they are entering into our water bodies. And the Great Pacific Patch, it is a collection of the plastic debris in the Pacific Ocean, which is affecting our marine animals. And because the marine animals, and they, when they come in contact with the such type of the waste, that is they get entangled in that, and that is sometimes they also ingest the microplastics which are present in the sea or the ocean. Then the mining activities, like as we are performing large number of them, we are involved in mining activities like coal, gold, minerals, and the chemicals released from these mining activities, they are directly released into the water bodies, and the uh, acid mine drainage, it occurs when the this rainwater, it interacts with the certain chemicals, and they are directly being poured into the streams, lakes, etc. The urban runoff is, that is, as construction sites, they are also near the water bodies, and the pollutants like motor oil, trash, they are directly poured into the water bodies, into the rivers, and the rivers are the major sources for polluting our oceans. The improper waste disposal like pharmaceutical waste, household waste, that is, there is no treatment is being done for these waste, and they are directly contaminating the water bodies. The atmospheric deposition is, that is like the mercury, it is being emitted from the various emissions, and it can directly being poured into the water bodies, and it gets accumulated in the bodies of the fish, and the human beings which are consuming these contaminated fishes, they are also indirectly affected by the poisoning of the mercury. The invasive, then the thermal pollution, it is the heated water, it is being directly poured into the water bodies, so raising the temperature of the our water bodies, and it also threatens our aquatic life. Then the erosion and the sedimentation, that is the soil erosion, is from the deforestation, construction, poor and the poor land management services, and which are affecting our aquatic life, and they are disrupting the food chain. Next slide, please. The more effects of the water pollution are like the toxicity, high levels of mercury, oxygen depletion, that is the eutrophication, and the habitat destruction is, it is caused by the coral reefs, wetlands, seagrass beds, and that is it is these pollutants, they are spoiling our these natural uh, organisms or the coral reefs like this, which are very important for the biodiversity, and they are that is biodiversity, because their natural growth is affected because of the these pollutants. Now we can, that is, before I come over to the soil pollution, that is, I would like to say on this, that is the our wastewater treatment, it should be given to the water bodies, that is before putting it into the water bodies, and there should be certain management, that is, we can improve the wastewater treatment, sewage water treatment, on-site wastewater treatment, and or we can do the recycling of the wastewater. We can reduce the use of the fertilizers, pesticides, and the that is the which can help in reducing the different type of the pollutions. Like, next is the soil pollution. Soil pollution is when the these pollutants, they contaminate the soil, and they are more toxic to the plants, animals, and the human. The common causes of the soil pollution are the industrial waste. That is the sometimes the waste, it is not directly being poured into the water bodies, but it is thrown on the soil, and that is the certain chemicals, hazardous chemicals, solvents, that is, they are leached into the soil, and the soil is being contaminated, and then that soil ultimately, when the rain takes place, and ultimately it also passes into the water bodies. So the contamination of the soil, it is also the one of the reason for the contamination of our water bodies. And the agricultural practices, as we are using large number of the pesticides, herbicides, chemical fertilizers, and that is the microorganisms, and they are polluting our environment. Waste disposal, that is the toxic waste is being poured into the landfills, and the heavy metals, chemicals, they are being poured into the soils. Oil is being also seeped into the soil, which are harming our plants and the animals. And the urbanization is also the, as we are more involved in the construction activities, and the creation of the infrastructure which is disturbing our soil and causing the pollution of the soil through the runoff and leading to the loss of the natural soil fertility. Next, the effects of the soil pollution are that is it is making impact on the agriculture. Our crop yield is lowered, degradation of the agricultural land, and the food insecurity is the major effect. And the health risk, because these when these contaminated soil, it introduce harmful chemicals, metals, and the people they are ingesting the pollutants by eating the contaminated crops, and it lead to the serious health problems like cancers, developmental issues in the children, and it can also lead to the neurological damage. In this way, the biodiversity is also lost, and because our certain microorganism, insects, and the organisms they are dependent on the soil for their food and the shelter. The water pollution, the polluted soil, it also contribute to the water contamination through the runoff. And the climate change, certain pollutants in the soil like excess fertilizers, which are containing the nitrogen and the sulfur, and they contribute to the release of the greenhouse gases, and they are affecting our climate change. Now next is the solution for the soil pollution. Next slide, please. That is we should sustainable agriculture, that is we should use the organic farming practices which is not based on the use of the harmful pesticides, chemicals, and that is which can lead to the soil degradation. We can use the alternatives like crop rotation, mulching, and that is which help in maintaining the soil length. Waste management is, that is we should ensure the proper disposal of the industrial, household, and the agricultural waste. We can use the recycling, composting, and using environmentally friendly compost, which help in minimizing the pollutants and which end up in the soil. The soil remediation is, that is we can go for the bioremediation, phytoremediation, and that is that these processes they are using the plants or the microorganisms to clean up the pollutants, and they can also phytoremediation, that is the certain plants they are used for absorbing the toxins, and which can help in reduce that is restoring our contaminated soil. And we should also reduce the proper, that is use of the plastics, and we can do the proper disposal and the recycling of the plastic, that is so we can limit the amount of the plastic to be used, which is ultimately ending up in the soil. Erosion control, soil erosion is also very that is it worsens our soil by washing away the contaminated soil into the water bodies. And the awareness and the legislation, it should be passed by the government, and it can prevent the industrial polluters from dumping the waste directly into the water bodies. Next is the plastic pollution. Plastic pollution, it is the very grave situation these days, and it is very the oceans and the seas they are directly contaminated by the microplastic, which ultimately it ends up in the it goes through the ecosystem, wildlife, and is impacting our human health also. Not only the human health, but the health of the marine organisms. The main sources of the plastic pollution are, that is we are using the plastic one time only, the items like plastic bottles, bags, straws, packaging, that they are being used once and they are discarded, and they are the major contributors to the plastic waste. And the improper waste disposal is that if the plastic is not disposed of properly, then ultimately it ends up in the rivers, oceans, and the landfills. Littering and the inadequate waste management, it contribute to the aggravation of the plastic problem. Fishing nets, sometimes they are also, that is the fishing nets they are being used by the fishermen, and that is the certain marine animals, they get trapped into the these fishing nets, and that is they are also, these fishing nets, they are contributing to the plastic pollution. Microplastics, that is the with the plastics which are less than the 5 millimeter in size, and they are resulted from the breakdown of the larger plastic particles, and they are leading to the that is contamination of our oceans, rivers, and even the air. Now, next, effects of the plastic pollution is, that is they are very harmful to the wildlife and the marine life, and that is even the certain animals, that is they are on the land as well as in the water, that is they sometimes mistake the plastic for the food, and they are ingesting the plastic, which can lead to the choking, malnutrition, and even the death of the animals. Marine life, it is severely impacted, as the millions of the marine animals, they are dying each year due to the plastic entanglement or the ingestion. The ecosystem disruption is, that is these plastics, they can change our habitats, and the plastic floating on the ocean surface, it can also block the sunlight from reaching the marine plants like phytoplanktons, and they are, because these phytoplanktons, they are very essential for the production of the sunlight, and or the production of the oxygen, and the marine food chain is affected. Human health risk, when the plastic degrades, they break down into the microplastics, and these microplastics, that is when they are uh, taken in the water bottles, and they lead to the potential health risk, like that is the hormone, they lead to the hormonal balance and the cancer and other health concerns, they are because of the microplastics being consumed by the humans in the directly or indirectly in large quantities. These plastics, they can also lead to the long term environmental damage, because the plastic, it takes hundreds of years to break down, and when they break down into the smaller pieces, and they do not disappear completely from this universe, and it lead to the damage of the environment, and which can affect our future generations. That is because of these fossil fuels, the plastic industry is also contributing to the greenhouse gas emissions, and that is the, in this way our climate is also directly or indirectly, it is getting changed. Now, what are the solutions for the plastic pollution is, that is first is the, we can make the use less use of the plastic, and that is it can be done by encouraging people to make the use the reusable items like bags, and we can promote the certain alternatives for the plastic packaging. Recycling is also another source for solution for the plastic pollution, and that is the, and we can that is recycle plastic, and the recycled plastic should be used. Plastic bans and the legislation should be employed for reducing the use of the plastic, and there should be the public awareness campaign should be run by the government, and biodegradable plastics should be used. Compositable alternatives are there for the use of the plastics. Materials like plant-based plastic should be used, and that is the plastic which are made from the algae, and which are very less harmful to the environment, they should be used. And we should find out certain innovations in the waste management, that is we can prevent the direct waste that is throwing of waste, plastic waste directly into the environment. It should be, and there should be certain improved sorting, improved technology for recycling methods, it should be used for the waste management. And the ocean cleanup efforts should, they should be enhanced by giving up number of the ocean cleanup projects, and that is which can prevent the passage of the plastics into the oceans. And the corporate responsibility is by employing certain initiatives and by employing certain acts that is which are very essential for solution of the plastic pollution. Next is the noise pollution. The main source noise pollution is it is the disruptive level of sound in the environment which can cause the negative effect on the human health, wildlife, and the overall quality of the life. The main sources of the noise pollution are the transportation like vehicles, airplanes, trains. These are the biggest contributors to the noise pollution, and the traffic noise in the urban area, it is also a main source of the disturbance. Industrial activities like the people living nearby the factories, machinery, construction work, it generates the large or the high levels of the noise, and it is particularly in the industrial. Urbanization, like we are living in the crowded streets, public spaces, and the which are contributing to the large that is constant background noise is there during the different type of the activities. And the entertainment venues, that is they also produce good quantity of the noise, and which are affecting our surrounding communities. And the household appliances like vacuum cleaners and the home appliances, that is they also contribute to the noise pollution. The effects of the noise pollution are, that is the main is the hearing loss, and that is the people which are exposed to the long term exposure to the high levels of the noise, that is it can lead to the hearing loss in there, or the permanent impairment it can take place. And then because of this, the our sleep is disturbed, and it leads to the insomnia and the poor sleep quality, that is it affects the overall health and the well-being of the human beings. Cardiovascular problems is also one of the reason because of this noise, loud noise, and it can lead to the heart diseases, blood pressure, stress related disorders because of this noise pollution. That is our mental health is also affected, that is it can increase the stress, anxiety, irritability, and the mental health. There are number of the mental health challenges the people they are being they are facing in day-to-day activities. Then the cognitive impairment, and there is the reduced quality of the life is also there. It also affect the wildlife and the uh, marine life also, that is by causing the disorientation in the animals, especially in the aquatic organisms. And these organisms, they are uh, because they rely on the sound for communication, navigation, and mating, and that is it leads to the disorientation and the disturbance to mating, and the migration issues they are also seeing are seen in the marine animals like whales, dolphins, and that is their migration pattern is affected, and that is it causes a great harm to these animals. The solutions for the noise pollution are like there should be the well planned urban planning, zoning, and green spaces, parks, that is they should be planned which help in absorbing the sound and the reduced noise level. Improve transportation infrastructure, and that is we can use the noise reducing technology, and the noise regulation should be done, soundproofing it should be done, the double glazed windows should be done, should be used, public awareness camps they should be carried out. And the technological solutions are like, that is the noise reducing material, it should be used in the construction industry and the transportation sector. And uh, that is the many factors they can be taken into consideration for reducing the noise pollution. That is, so we can create the zone or the atmosphere which is affecting from the noise pollution, which is directly or indirectly affecting our ecosystem. In the ecosystem, that is the all wildlife animal in the sea and the marine, and in the terrestrial wildlife animals, they are also affected. Next is radiation pollution. Now the radiation pollution, it is because of the radiations which are released in the environment from the both natural sources and the human activities, and it occurs from the radioactive materials which are either man-made or naturally occurring. And the types of the radiations are the ionizing radiations and the non-ionizing radiations. In the ionizing radiations are the alpha particles, beta particles, gamma rays, and the X-rays. Now these alpha particles, that is they cause the effect on the human skin, and which it is very harmful if ingested or inhaled. Beta particles, they are smaller than the alpha particles, and they can penetrate the outer layer of the skin, and they can be stopped by the materials, like if we are using the, and they can be used by the stopped by the use of glasses. Gamma rays and the X-rays, these are high forms of the radiations, that is which also penetrate deep into the body, and it causes damage to our tissues and the organs. The non-ionizing radiations are the radio frequency radiations, which are emitted by our cell phones, radio towers, and the microwave ovens. Microwave radiations by the microwave ovens and the communication devices. Ultraviolet radiations, they come from the sun, and the which can cause the skin cancer and the other related health problems. The next next slide, please. The main sources of the radiation pollution are the nuclear power plants, like that is the carbon emissions, they come from the nuclear power plants, and they carry the risk of accidents, and which are releasing the harmful radiations into the environment. The industrial processes, that is as the X-ray machines in the medical devices, X-ray machines are being used in the scientific research facilities, that is a, which are a number of the experiments are being carried out in the research centers, and they are emitting the radiations. If these radiations, they are not treated properly, and that is they can lead to the hazardous effects. Mining and extraction, that is they are also that is releases of the mining for uranium or the radioactive minerals. From these mining and extraction processes, they are contaminating our ecosystem. The radioactive waste, it is generated from the medical facilities, industrial activities, nuclear power generations, and that is if they are not handled safe, and that is they can leach directly into the soil, water, and the atmosphere. Radon gas, it comes from the decay of uranium in the earth's crust, and it can lead to the lung cancer among the non-smokers. The space radiations, that is the cosmic radiations, and that is they are present below the earth's surface, and that is their level of radiation is very high. Medical and the consumer products, that is they can also contain certain amount of the radioactive materials. Then the effect of the radiation pollution, it is also on the, that is it causes the sickness, cancer, genetic mutations, and the radiation burns are there. Soil and water contamination takes place. And what is the solution for the radiation pollution is, that is we have to improve the waste management, we have to employ certain regulation and the safety protocols, use of the cleaner technologies, radon mitigation, public awareness and monitoring, and the international cooperation by the International Atomic Energy Agency, that is they can enforce certain safety guidelines for the nuclear power plants, and that is which help in improving the radiation level and improve the sharing of the best practices for radiation safety and the waste disposal. Now next please. Indoor pollution, it is because of the harmful pollutants which are present inside the building, which can affect our health and the comfort of the occupants. The common sources of indoor pollution are like the volatile organic compounds which are released from the household products, and that is which can cause the respiratory issues, headaches, and even the long term health problems, like it can lead to the liver and the kidney damage. Indoor combustion is that is the cooking, heating, use of the number of the appliances, that is which can release the carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, and they are harmful in the enclosed spaces. The tobacco smoke is that is contains the certain harmful chemicals like tar, carbon monoxide, formaldehyde, which are released into the air, and it can lead to the heart diseases, cancer, especially in the children. Mold and the mildew, it is that is water leaks, they can lead to the growth of the mild and the mildew, and which can these mold and the mildew, it can trigger the allergies, asthma attacks, and the respiratory infections. Dust and the pet dander and the formaldehyde, radon gas, pesticides, and the household chemicals, they are also the common sources of the indoor pollution. Next, the effects of the indoor pollution are, as I have already told you, that is, they are leading to the respiratory issues like coughing, sneezing, difficult breathing, allergies, itchy eyes, runny nose, skin rashes, headaches, and the fatigue, dizziness, nausea, general fatigueness, cancers, heart diseases, mental health effects, that is the stress, anxiety, and the depressions. They are the many of the effects being caused. The solution is, next slide please. Solutions for the indoor pollution are, that is we should improve our ventilation, we should not use the toxic products, we should control the humidity and prevent mold, we should install the air purifiers which reduce the use of the volatile organic compounds and the smoke particles, and we should avoid smoking indoor indirectly, directly or entirely, and we should establish certain outside smoking areas, and the natural ventilation should be used by the use of open windows, skylights, vents. Regular cleaning should be done, wash bedding, curtains, uphold furniture, it should be, so they can prevent the accumulation of the dust mites and the denders. We should plant certain indoor plants, that is which can improve the air quality and absorb carbon dioxide, releasing oxygen. We should make the avoid the use of the synthetic fragrances. Now, thank you for your participation.
A heartfelt thank you,
I
Dr.
am
Nizam
able to
Balla, for
explain.
your informative and thought-provoking talk. Your vast research experience and deep knowledge have made this session truly insightful. To introduce our second keynote speaker, I would like to invite Professor Aksar to do the honor. Please, ma'am. Professor Aksar.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Professor, I have finished with my lecture. You can just go ahead with
Yes,
the
ma'am. Uh,
any questions.
जब यही शुरू की है यही
You have any question? Hello. Do you have any question regarding this presentation, all of you? If you have, then ask. No? Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Once again, thank you. Aksa, ma'am. Please, Aksa, ma'am,
Yes,
to
ma'am.
introduce our second keynote speaker.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Aksa Firdaus, Assistant Professor in the Department of Zoology, and it is my honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. J.D. Sheikh. Dr. Sheikh is a highly respected academician and researcher in the field of zoology. He is the professor and head of the Department of Zoology at Maulana Azad College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Aurangabad. With 22 years of teaching experience and 25 years of research expertise, he has contributed immensely to the academic and scientific world. He has published 75 research papers, attended 50 conferences, and successfully guided 11 PhD students, with 6 more currently pursuing their research under his guidance. His research has received international recognition as he has presented papers at the University of Malaysia and the University of Mauritius. Dr. Sheikh is also actively involved in various institutional and social initiatives. He is a member of the IQAC and NSS program officer and the coordinator for Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, working towards the development of rural areas. His efforts were recognized when he received the FI FICER fellowship from G Seed Bhopal for his contribution to building a check dam at Rasulpura village. He is a board of studies member at Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University Aurangabad and Abida Inamdar Senior College Pune as a doctoral research committee and PG in charge. He plays a key role in the research and academic guidance. In addition, Dr. Sheikh has successfully completed one major and one minor research project funded by UGC. He has published 7 books and delivered 10 invited talks. His dedication and excellence have been recognized with an appreciation letter from the Higher and Technical Education Department, Government of Maharashtra, Mumbai. With such vast experience and remarkable achievements, Dr. J.D. Sheikh is an inspiration to students, researchers, and fellow educators. It is an honor to have him with us today, and we eagerly look forward to his valuable insights. Thank you.
It's my honor to invite our esteemed speaker, J.D. Sheikh, to share his thoughts. Please start your presentation.
Yes, yes. Sharing. Yeah. Good morning, all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Uh, I'm thank you to organizer, uh, City College Malegaon, Principal HOD's Management. I am going to deliver a lecture on impact of pollutant on human health. Already, Madam has explained the different types of pollutions and their impact with the diagrammatic representations. First of all, I am going to brief presentation. You have already listened the pollutant and their impact and what is impact on the economy also. So first of all, we see the pollution. Pollution is a, what is pollution? It is a harmful substances. It is a contaminant into the environment, causing adverse effect on the natural world as well as human health, and this impact is on economy of our nation. So different types of the pollution: air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution. In each pollution, the directly indirectly affect the human part. That is, the if the air quality is bad, it is affect on the human health, particularly in lungs. If the water is polluted, so the riverine system is majorly affected. That is, you know, the big river in India: Ganga river system, Yamuna river system, Narmada river system, Krishna river, Kaveri river. all the river has its own biodiversity, aquatic ecosystems. Due to the pollution, we we have lost the large amount of the biodiversity. It is fauna as well as the flora. If the soil is pollutant, so we trade the different it's called as forms, that is pesticides and herbicide, insecticide, all are impact on the soil, and it is as well as industrial as well as agricultural waste. The soil become infertile. It is one of the major challenge of the world. So these pollutions. Then light pollution as well as it is called as thermal pollution. You know thermal pollution in recent days or back 2 to 3 months before, the government of Maharashtra has initiative to plan for the thermal station in the Jaikwadi Dam, Aurangabad. So the fisherman has strongly opposed to that government plan or initiatives, because this thermal or this it is called as a light stations, if it is installed in the dam, near dam, so its impact on the fish biodiversity, the fish biodiversity as well as the aquatic ecosystems are totally disturbed by this thermal plants, or it is a light plants. Because the aquatic system, if aquatic system is polluted, they are directly indirectly affect on the human health, because we consume the fish, we consume the water as a drinking water. So as well as the water is also used in it is called an agricultural land. So these are the totally infected, and the human health is affected. So these environmental toxins, they are occurs on the health consequences as well as potential solutions. From the air we breathe to the water we drink, pollutant pose a significant threat to our well-being, demanding urgent attention and comprehensive actions. This is a type of pollutants. It is industrial emissions, vehicle exhaust, agriculture runoff. In industrial, there is factories release. In every factories, they have own effluent, industrial waste effluent treatment plant. But major of the industry, they don't follow the rules and regulation from the government, from the laws, or from it is instructions from the government. So the industrial emissions, factory release pollutants directly into the water bodies, as well as combustions or air, they are direct insert into the air, and this is impact on the human health, that is asthma, or it is called as the lungs cancer. The car, trucks contribute to the air pollution. Nowadays, in metropolitan cities, Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi, recently we have studied the smoke, the heavy smoke in Delhi, the large number of the cases of the asthma in Delhi due to the vehicle exhaust. Agriculture runoff is one of the major issues. Now the people are going to, or people are, it is parallelly, they prefer the organic compost. It is organic leaf, or it is use of the vermicompost instead of fertilizer and pesticides. Heavy metal pollutant is a big problem. It is come from the mining and manufacturing. Types include lead and mercury, and these heavy metals damage the neurological and development problem. So the if the heavy metal accumulate in the water, accumulate in the soil, so it led to the cancer. Nowadays, the cancer patient is rises, increases due to these heavy metals. Especially children is suffering from this problem. The pesticides and herbicides come from the agricultural sites, and these pesticides they kill to the insect as well as the pest, as well as they damage to the human body or damage to the tissue body tissue of the human being, as well as they disturb the endocrine system. We have neuroendocrine glands, we have pituitary gland, thyroid gland, we have adrenal gland. These pesticides, their impact on our glands, because we have the gland secrete hormone. If the gland is affected by the metals, by the, it is called as pollutant or pesticide, there is direct impact on the secretion of the hormones from the gland. If the endocrine system is malfunction, they stop their secretion, then the another problem arises in the human body, and person is suffering from the cancer also. Then we know the Minamata disease. The mercury poisoning in Japan caused severe neurological damage. It is one of the major problem in Japan. So many of the country they are producing the mercury, lead, zinc, heavy metals. So their impact on their worker as well as their agricultural land and their water also contaminated. Flint water crisis. Now the drinking water is, nowadays we purchase the safe, clean, filtered water, because the river and the lake are totally, it is a not any natural bodies are, it is free from the contaminant, because already our rivers are polluted. Next, now the air quality crisis. 1.5 m 1.5 million deaths attribute to this air pollution. According to WHO, the WHO declare the many of the cities are, they are having not good air. The quality of the air is totally disturbed. So 99% population of the India exposed PM 2.5 level above WHO limit. PM2 P means, PM2 means is fine particle material 2.5 level. So we have crossed, and 13 cities of the world mostly polluted. Now the alarming level due to air quality crisis. WHO permissible pollution limit. The concentration of fine particulate matter, that is PM2, PM 2.5, PM 2.5, PM 2. It is a range, increasing range. This fine particulate matter is alarming, reaching hazardous level that significantly exceed safe threshold. These microscopic pollutants, which originate from vehicle emission, industrial activities, biomass burning, construction dust, can penetrate deep into the lungs, tissue, and also enter into the systemic blood circulation, that is bloodstream, and leading to severe cardiovascular as well as respiratory disease. So this fine particulate matter 2.5 level increase risk of asthma, lungs cancer, heart attack, and stroke, paralysis stroke. It is more in the children, the elderly, and individual with pre-existing health conditions. urgent and comprehensive measures including strict emission regulation, the promotion of clean energy alternatives, improved public transportation, increased green spaces, essential to mitigating the crisis, public awareness, and individual action, such as reducing personal carbon footprint and advocating for policy changes also play crucial role in combating air pollution and safeguard public health. Statistical overview. The persistent exposure to toxic air pollutants, particularly fine particulate matter and harmful gases such as nitrogen oxide, sulfur oxide, has been directly linked to rise the respiratory as well as cardiovascular and various forms of cancer is seen. Then these chronic exposure to pollutants, it is causes asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, that is COPD, bronchitis, cardiovascular complications, hypertension, stroke, heart attack. It is associated with the air pollution. To address this growing crisis, stringent air quality regulation, large-scale adaptation of clean energy solution, and enhanced public health initiative are necessary. Raising awareness and encouraging community participation in pollution control measures are also essential step in reducing the health burden caused by the India deteriorating air qualities. So now the need, it is a time to awareness through the mass media, through the WhatsApp, through the it is LinkedIn, through the any public awareness program, as well as student. It is particularly in college student awareness campaign should be done for this controlling the pollution. You know the deadly dust, it is already explained, PM 2.5, PM 10. It is a fine particulate matter with a diameter of 2.5 micrometer or less. Due to these tiny particles, tiny invader, it is penetrate into the respiratory as well as the blood vascular system of the human being. If it is 2.5, if it is also large, PM10, PM10 means the diameter is 10 micrometer. It is also very damage to the respiratory cells, as well as the another is source and impact of this fine particulate matter. It is vehicle emission, industrial processes, construction activities, agriculture practices. These are associated with the respiratory infections as well as heart disease and reduced lung function. This is a silent killer. It's a gaseous pollutant, is a big challenge of the world, that is ozone, nitrogen oxide, sulfur dioxide. This is a case study. This is a photo of uh, pollutants in Delhi area. During the winter season, it has the very fog, very it is a very dust. It is in the that particular season, as well as the mitigation efforts. The government has implemented various measures to combat Delhi air pollution, including odd even traffic schemes. Because this odd even traffic scheme is very necessary for the controlling the pollution level, the ban of construction, as well as to control the industrial emission, to control the uh, industrial emission, to adopt the policy measure to government has strictly they giving some instruction to the industry to, it is called as a effluent treatment plant. Before enter the pollutant is enter into the water bodies or any soil, before it is treated, diluted, then it is disposed in the water as well as in the other body. So these effects has definitely success in addressing the root cause on the pollution. This is a smoke emergency. It is an October, November, then in Diwali season, then it is in the another winter month. So the Delhi experiences severe smoke event annually. Air quality plummets impact millions. This is a respiratory illness and beyond. Respiratory disease, cardiovascular effect, other health impact on the this particular matters. You know the respiratory systems under attack. Under asthma, it is called as pollutant ticker inflammation, COPD. It is long-term exposure, worsen symptoms and progression, lung cancer. The now in the particular area of the Malegaon and in the other Bhiwandi, the handloom worker also suffering from the asthma, from the lungs problem due to the fine particles, fibers particles are it is enter into the trachea or enter into the lungs. This is a cardiovascular effect, inflammation, heart attack, plaque buildup due to the pollutants. Neurological impact, it is cognitive decline, developmental issues, mental health. It is low income community as well as marginalized group children. You see the peoples are they are made the houses near the industrial areas, industrial facilities, major roadways, exposing them to higher level of pollution. It is below poverty line peoples. Marginalized group, ethnic minorities and indigenous communities often face greater environmental risk due to systemic inequalities. Children and elderly more susceptible to the health effect of pollution due to their developing and weakened immune system. Vulnerable population, that is children, elderly, and pre-existing condition. Actionable solution. What is solution to prevent the pollution? Mitigation and prevention strategies. 25% renewable energies, 50% sustainable transport, 75% industrial control. Transitioning to renewable energy source can significantly reduce air pollution from power plant and other industrial facilities. Promoting sustainable transportation options such as public transit, cycling, and electric vehicle can lower vehicle emissions. In all over the world, the few of the country I have visited, Mauritius, Malaysia, they are having they use only public transport. People are not purchase the personal vehicle, personal car. People prefer public transport. Government has also banned the producing of the vehicles per year in our India. Each year, million of the vehicles are produced, and the vehicles are constantly increased in our India, and we have not proper transportation system. Government has not own transport system. People are constantly purchasing the new car, old car, bike, and the large number of the traffic problem is there, and the combustion of the it is called as the vehicle, or it is called as the various gases, SO2, CO2, carbon monoxide, all gases are it is come from these vehicles, and the environment is more polluted day by day. And implementing strict emission control on the industrial facilities can minimize the pollution from manufacturing and other processes. The fight against pollution requires a multi-phase approach involving government regulation, technology innovations, and individual actions. This is a strategies. What can be done? Policy changes, industry regulation act implement properly, individual actions. We all should properly follow the instructions, follow the government rules and regulation. If the peoples are aware, no need to implement the law forcefully. So the public awareness should be very important. Reduce your carbon footprint, support clean energy, advocate for stronger environmental policies. Now the conclusion, protecting our health. Pollutants have profound and far-reaching impact on human health, affecting respiratory, cardiovascular, neurological function. Exposure to air pollution, contaminated water, and toxic chemical increase the risk of disease such as asthma, lung cancer, heart disease, developmental disorder, vulnerable population, including children, the elderly, and those with pre-existing condition are particular at risk. To mitigate these harmful effects, it's crucial to implement strict environmental regulation, promote sustainable practices, to raise public awareness about pollution control. We have pollution control board, but pollution control board has not properly managed, not properly observed the laws, the implementing laws from the people, from the public, are there, they are not implementing proper management. By taking collectively action, we can protect our health and ensure a safer, healthier future for generation to come. Technological advancement and policy intervention play a major role to reducing the pollution and its health impacts. Investment in clean energy, improved waste management, and sustainable urban planning can significantly lower pollution level. Ultimately, protecting human health from pollutant require collaborative efforts between government, industries, and communities. Our initiatives are more important from college level. We all are involved in the pollution control awareness program. The college student prepare leaflet, prepared hands-out, prepared poster, arrange rally on impact of pollutant on human health. And we should collaboratively work with the government, with the pollution control board, and organize the big awareness programs, rallies in the cities, in the particular areas, in particular communities. So to aware the plastic awareness, so say no plastic, use cloth bag, use kapde ki theli. We can create a world where future generation thrive in a cleaner and safer environment. Thank you very much. Well, I am very brief. I'm very brief about this
All participants,
environmental
do you
pollution.
want to ask?
Due to my throat is infected, I am giving try to best.
Yes, sir. No problem. Okay, thank you, sir. All participants, do you want to ask questions regarding presentation or whatever the other thing ask him? Okay.
Photo
Once again, thank you so much, sir,
no,
for your informative
there is a
presentation.
photo screenshot.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Hello,
Now,
hello, hello, ma'am.
yes, okay.
I am Nilima
Say,
More.
pardon?
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes,
I am Nilima More, student of Reshma Balla ma'am at Panchoti College. I was
Okay,
late
ma'am.
to join such a informative session, but in the future session like this are very important to raise the public awareness. And for the remedy for the pollutant is essential for future life. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. Now, to introduce our third and final keynote speaker, I invite Professor Javeria, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Professor Javeria from the Department of Zoology, and I am excited to introduce Dr. Tejaswini Akrur Sontakke, a respected teacher and researcher. Dr. Sontakke is currently as an assistant professor and PhD guide at MGV's Mahila Ratna Pushpatai Hire Art Science and Commerce Mahila Mahavidyalaya in Malegaon camp. She has over 9 years of teaching experience and 10 years in research. She specializes in protozoology, parasitology, molecular biology, and genomics. Dr. Sontakke earned her PhD in zoology with a focus on parasitic infections in goat and sheep. She also works with DNA barcoding, RT-PCR, and metagenomics, contributing greatly to biodiversity studies. She has worked as a research associate at the Paul Hebert Center of DNA Barcoding and Biodiversity Studies and as a junior research fellow on vector-borne diseases. During the COVID-19 pandemic, she contributed as a research scientist at Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad, supporting vital research and testing. As a PhD guide at Savitribai Phule Pune University, she helps mentor research scholars and has guided students in prestigious competitions like Avishkar and 12E. She has published 14 research papers, 4 books, 2 book chapters, and holds a patent. She was awarded the Best Poster Presentation Award at ICEAHAH 2021 and the Golden Jubilee Fellowship for her exceptional research. In addition to teaching and research, Dr. Sontakke is a well-known speaker, giving guest lectures and 3 PhD sessions at top institutions. She is also active in academic administration, serving as an academic coordinator, Board of Studies member at MGVs and College Development Committee member. Her dedication to education, research, and scientific progress is truly inspiring. We are honored to have her with us today. Thank you very much. Over to you, ma'am. Jasmine, ma'am.
Thank you, Professor Javeria, for your kind introduction. Now we move on to an exciting segment of our webinar, student paper presentation. This platform allows young researchers to showcase their work and share valuable insights related to today's theme. Our first student presenter is Ms. Swaleba Nonuruddin, who will present her research on study of marigold flower based herbal mosquito repellent using natural binders. Ms. Swale, the platform is yours. Please start your presentation.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much. My name is Swaleha Banu Nuruddin and I am the student of MSc first year Department of Zoology. And my research topic name is Study of Marigold Flower based on herbal poly mosquito repellent using natural binders. Some contents are included introduction, method material, and conclusion. Introduction in mosquito-borne disease such as malaria, dengue fever, chikungunya, yellow fever, Zika virus, and several types of encephalitis. Mosquito work as a vector who carry the infectious agent and that causes disease at different level like malaria, dengue, encephalitis, etc. Malaria caused by female mosquito Anopheles continues to impart a major disease burden on infants and young children in endemic region. सम बेसिकली आर मतलब जो मॉस्किटो रिपेलेंट होता है मार्केट में जो अवेलेबल होता है वो बहुत ज्यादा मतलब हजार्डस केमिकल से बना होता है, जिसको यूज करने के बाद सबसे ज्यादा इसका इफेक्ट जो है वो न्यू बॉर्न से 5 ईयर 10 ईयर्स के जो चाइल्ड होते हैं उन पे ही इसका इफेक्ट बहुत ज्यादा होता है। तो हम लोगों ने इस रिसर्च में क्या किया था कि ये केमिकल से बने हुए मॉस्किटो रिपेलेंट का यूज ना करते हुए नेचुरल लीफ और हर्बल रिपेलेंट का यूज किया हम लोगों ने। तो उसमें जो मेथड्स एंड मटेरियल्स है, कलेक्शन ऑफ मैरीगोल्ड फ्लावर, वॉश मैरीगोल्ड फ्लावर विद द हेल्प ऑफ डिस्टिल्ड वाटर, कट द फ्लावर इनटू स्मॉल पीसेस एंड मेक अ फाइन पेस्ट एंड स्टोर द पेस्ट इनटू अ जार। मतलब इसमें हम लोगों ने 80 और 20 का परसेंट यूज किया। 80% हम लोगों ने मैरीगोल्ड फ्लावर का पेस्ट यूज किया और 20% इसमें जो डिफरेंट नेचुरल बाइंडर्स होते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल नीम लीव्स, मिंट लीव्स, कोकोनट शेल एंड वुड पाउडर। मतलब 80% जो है मैरीगोल्ड फ्लावर पेस्ट रहेगा, उसमें हम लोगों ने 20% नीम लीव्स का यूज किया और उसको हम लोगों ने एज मतलब चॉइस कैंडल का उसको शेप दिया, केक का शेप दिया, या फिर उसको स्टिक फॉर्म में भी हम लोग उसको शेप दे सकते हैं। उसके बाद जब हम लोगों ने उसको बर्न किया तो ये मतलब नॉर्मल जो कॉइल होती है उससे ज्यादा टाइम तक इसका जो बर्निंग टाइम था वो चला। और उसके बाद जैसे कॉइल को मतलब बर्न करने के बाद उससे जो पॉल्यूशन क्रिएट होता है तो उससे बच्चों के जो लीवर और लंग्स है वो डैमेज हो जाते हैं। लेकिन जब हम लोगों ने इसको बर्न किया ना तो इसका साइड इफेक्ट कोई कुछ मतलब देखने नहीं मिला, लेकिन मॉस्किटोज पे इसका इफेक्ट बहुत ज्यादा पड़ा। जैसे कॉइल वगैरह खत्म होने के बाद वापस से मॉस्किटो का अटैक हो जाता है, लेकिन नेचुरल रिपेलेंट यूज करने के बाद कोई भी मतलब वापस से मॉस्किटो का अटैक नहीं हुआ। हम लोगों को मतलब इसका बहुत ही वंडरफुल रिजल्ट मिला मिला था इस मतलब ये यूज करने के बाद। तो इसको हम लोगों ने 4 केक्स मतलब इसके बनाए थे, जैसे कि ये 80% मैरीगोल्ड फ्लावर लिए थे, 20% लीफ था, और दूसरा केक था उसमें 80% मैरीगोल्ड फ्लावर पेस्ट था, उसमें 20% कोकोनट शेल था। तो ऐसे करके हम लोग 4 तरीके का केक उसमें फॉर्म किए थे। ये पिक्चर्स में आप लोग देख सकते हैं, इस तरीके से केक का फॉर्मेशन हुआ था। उसके बाद जब हम लोग इसको बर्न किए तो बहुत ज्यादा लॉन्ग टाइम इसका इफेक्ट हुआ और कोई भी साइड इफेक्ट बच्चों में इसको देखने नहीं मिला। मतलब ये बहुत ज्यादा इफेक्टिव हम लोगों को रिजल्ट इसका मिला। उसके बाद कंक्लूजन ये है कि आई वुड लाइक टू शेयर माई एक्सपीरियंस while डूइंग द रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट। I learned many new things about the mosquito repellent using natural binders and marigold flower. It was wonderful learning experience for me while working on this project. Thus, in present studying gave me knowledge about natural products, and alternative is to use natural products that possess good efficiency and are environmental friendly. The primary focus in the study is that to use of marigold flower. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Saleh, for your insightful and well-researched presentation. Your study on herbal mosquito repellents highlights an innovative and eco-friendly solution to a common problem. Okay, these wonderful presentations were observed and evaluated by Dr. especially by Dr. Tejaswini Agrur Sontakke ma'am, who will now share her observation and feedback with us. Now, I invite Dr. Tejaswini Agrur Sontakke ma'am to share her observations and feedback on the student paper presentation. Please, ma'am.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for such a good introduction of me. And also thank you so much for inviting me in this seminar based on environment toxicology, impact of pollutants on human health. This type of seminar are useful for students and research students are also. And this type of webinar usually we can arrange for the students for improving their research. Thank you so much for inviting me, and this is a good initiative for students to present their work on this type of webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your valuable insights and constructive feedback. Your guidance will surely help our young researchers in their academic journey. Once again, thank you, ma'am. As we approach the conclusion of this enlightening webinar, I would like to invite Professor Sayyeda Afrin to deliver the vote of thanks and express our gratitude to everyone who made this event a success. Professor Sayyeda, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
On behalf of MGV's Arts, Commerce and Science College, Malegaon City and its entire fraternity, I feel immense pleasure to propose a vote of thanks. I want to express my sincere gratitude to our speakers, Dr. J.D. Sheikh, sir, Professor and HOD of Zoology, Maulana Azad College, Aurangabad, Dr. Resham Bhalla, HOD of Zoology, LVH College, Panchwati, Nashik, and Dr. Tejaswini Sontakke, ma'am, Assistant Professor, Mahila College, Malegaon. They spared precious time from their busy schedule to grace this occasion and enlightening to all of us for their valuable and informative lectures. Today's webinar was full of knowledge. Thank you so much to all the speakers. I would take this opportunity to express my deep regards to our principal ma'am, Dr. Rizwana Hamdani, for being a constant motivator and guiding force in all our endeavors to excel in the field of education. I would thanks to our Vice Principal, Dr. Arif Anjum sir, for his unfaltering support and confidence in us. He is the backbone of our institution and the guiding force for new step forward. I would like to thank organizing committee, especially Professor Parvez Akhtar sir from Department of Zoology and Professor Raufi Saud, HOD of Botany, and Professor Jasmine ma'am, Department of English, for their hard work and dedication. I also thanks to technical team. I also thanks to all the faculty members of the Department of Zoology for plays a vital role in making the department a place of learning, growth, and inspiration. Finally, my deep sense of the thanks and appreciation goes to all the participants who were with us and attended this webinar with great enthusiasm, made today's event great success. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Sayeda, for your kind words. With this, we conclude today's webinar. I sincerely thank the respected principal, vice principal, keynote speakers, organizing committee, and participants for their valuable contribution. Stay safe, stay informed, and have a great day ahead. I would like to announce our sum of our webinar. Thank you. Thank you so much.